Now we are live. So I posed the question. Thank you first of all for chiming in. Whoever does see it, we have nice little panel. So the question is, why does intimacy decline during marriage, long-term relationships, and so forth? Right. Now I say it could be a couple of things. Right. It could be maybe the female or one of the two is no longer in great shape. It could be the sapiosexual attractiveness of one another has declined. Somebody's harboring feelings about a past um, in situation that took place, and they're no longer turned on by that person. It could be maybe they got something else going on outside of. But in the scriptures, it says a man should not deny his wife, and a wife should not deny her husband, and that's in a married relationship. But now we all know you can be in relationships and they got get kind of drawn out, and the attraction with life gets the best of you with children, with bills and so forth, working every day. It can get the best of you. So I want to get some opinions on this situation. Somebody I know was in this situation. We got somebody that was in it. Brother, there's Sweat
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Nika.
yo.
Hold on, y'all.
What's goody? What's goody?
Nika asked the question, right?
Uh,
I'm gonna get your opinion. Nika asked the question: why does intimacy decline during marriage? What was your situation, Billy? Well, yours you was married, so let me okay. Let me ask you. Okay, describe the marriage situation first. What happened?
with the marriage, it's just like you get caught up in the everyday things in life, and it's like you're dealing with work, you're dealing with this, dealing with that. The stress is finance. In my situation, it was more on a financial shit, so it brought stress on the relationship at the time. And you come home, got a lot of shit on your mind. She not really into it, or vice versa. I might not be into it, but just shit just get hectic after a while. Then
Were you
just start.
attracted to her still? Well, I mean, was it still the
In my
attraction?
in my situation, I was always attracted to my wife. There was never a point where I was never unattracted to her. It just was, after a while, it became like almost making an appointment to have, to get intimate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you want to get it on later? Oh, maybe later on today, maybe tomorrow, maybe in the morning. It was like always an excuse and shit. So
Would you had to ask for it? I'm trying to understand. You
right,
say
it came to the point where you're almost asking and making an appointment instead of it just flowing and being natural. Like, we lay down at the end of the night, you think that your lady, gonna want you to be up on her, shit like that. And it got to the point where it wasn't like that. It's like, yo, I'm pulling on her like, yo, what's good?
well, you just say, wait. Now, I'm gonna be a little graphic. Why you just say, no? Let me ask you a question. Did she sleep with her bottom clothes on? You got what was the situation? Could you just roll open into it? And people say one of the advantages of being in a long term relationship is the
Access.
the easiness. I don't want to say easy, but sex is kind of accessible.
Right. So it's supposed to be accessible, right? You're supposed to be able to just roll over, slide right up in that, not to be too graphic, but that's how it's supposed to be. But nah, man, it wasn't like that, man. I used to be like, yo, what's good? Like, I'm tired. I'm tired. Tired. But we do it in the morning. The morning, shit. Then I got, what I'm saying? I got to get up and go to work early in the morning. I'm not trying to be worn out on my way to work. You know what I'm saying? I want to get it on, get a nice sleep. So that was like the issue with me.
So you ain't get? Did you gain weight? Did you get fat, Elbow? Let's be honest. Did
Oh,
you be like a fat dude?
you said, did I get fat?
Did you get fat?
Nah, never. My shit was always on point. Always on point.
But how often was the sex? Though? Let me ask you. How often was it? What would you say?
Like I said, when she got bad, man, I don't think me and my wife was having sex maybe, I would say maybe, if that, maybe 3 times a month, if that.
Ouch.
3 times a month. 3 times a month. How long y'all married?
Well, together 18 years at the time. Was married like 10, but we was together from high school.
You hear that, Nika?
I did. I'm filing for divorce.
So you file for divorce if you can't have sex?
3 times a month, that's neglect.
Wait a minute.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Right.
So marriage. So sex is a reason to get a divorce.
No, but
It can be.
problems. It
I'm
causes
asking. Sex a reason to get divorced.
no, but it starts other problems. It causes resentment.
Right.
It's not so much the act. Well, I mean, it is the act, but it's a form of communication.
So sex or just being
It's a
intimate?
bonding
That's the
experience.
question.
When you stop,
Huh?
when you stop,
But don't you have to have some type of what is the attraction decline? You saying divorce? Divorce is kind of extreme, I think. I mean,
divorce is extreme. Absolutely, it's extreme.
well, women leave 80% of the time. So I mean, that was a natural reaction. So you kind of play right into the stats by saying that. By to get a divorce, you can't have sex. And what if
3
there's
times
children
a month.
involved? Wouldn't that be pretty selfish?
How old was your wife when you got divorced?
How old were you? How many years ago was that? Shit.
Was you in your 40s? You was in your mid 30s.
Yeah, she was like 35, somewhere around there.
I mean, there's a lot with this situation that I know of. But we just talk about the not having sex part. Do you go out and have sex with somebody else at that point? I mean, Nika, let me ask you a question. So what if you don't want to do it because whatever reason, he said, well, listen, you go out and have sex with somebody else. Is that acceptable or no?
No, it's not acceptable, but it has to be addressed. Part of a relationship, at least in my opinion, is that while I'm putting him first, he's also putting me first. Not to say that both people are always going to feel like it, but sometimes I might not feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want him to be okay. It's not just about me.
There's a bigger picture, basically.
Yeah.
When there's kids involved, so you're talking about purpose. So your duty and purpose to your husband, basically.
Absolutely.
Right. But then you said get a divorce because you don't have.
I was being dramatic.
I know you were. What about pleasing? So pleasing yourself is not an option if it's not happening between you and your husband.
I mean, I guess you could, but it's not going to be the same.
No, it's not
I don't think there's any substitute for that other person.
So what if the woman get mad big? She get either one gets. Well, it's a little bit different with men and women. But what if one of the two become obese? Is that a reason for a woman to say, if she gained 300 pounds, 400 pounds, whatever, but they've been married for a long period of time, and honestly, when someone is obese up to a certain extent, that's basically being careless, unstructured, and whatever else you want to say. So it would be acceptable for him to go out and get another woman just to please himself. Nika?
No, I'm not supporting going outside of the marriage for to fulfill needs. I'm not, but I do want to invest your partner. Where did all those pounds come from? They didn't come overnight. Like, can you walk together? Can you work out together? Can you change the diet?
I feel that if the woman got big, I feel like as the man's supposed to help his wife, help her to try to lose the weight, assist at that. But if she's not putting in any initiative and just laying around getting bigger and bigger about a year, don't want to do nothing, it's like after a while it's going to draw a strain because in all reality, that's not what I signed up for. I didn't marry a big chick. Like maybe I'm not attracted to big girls. You know what I'm saying? So that's not what I signed up for. Like I want to help you get smaller, but if you don't want to do it, then it's going to lead to wandering eyes.
Infidelity, right? So you wouldn't understand. Wait a minute, Nika. So if someone got to that point when they're over, a morbidly obese person, woman, and like you just said, he didn't sign up for that. That's kind of compared. You could juxtapose that with if the man goes broke and women don't stick around much too long, because women are not going to take care of no man for a certain period of time. Let's be honest, right? What do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
I see the point, but so when a woman gains weight, let's say everything still functions well. For a man to achieve erection, you need blood flow and testosterone.
A lot more work, right?
When he gains weight and he can't perform, is that a reason for her to go outside to be lazy?
What do you think, Sweat? He can't perform. I know. Listen, I've been a barber for years, right? So I know a situation that actually happened. So certain blood pressure medications can cause erectile dysfunction, right? So what you're saying, huh?
So all I can say is that I've known some women that I've come across, and they said that their man couldn't rock.
They perform.
That's why they out in the streets now.
Yeah. And the dude, no, what she's saying is correct. Because listen, I didn't. First of all, your answer to the question is no. I say no because it's more. Well, I'm going to say no. Would I be able to stomach my wife knowing I couldn't perform for any kind of reason, medical situation or whatever? No, right? But this is the thing. I know a dude that said his wife told him. He said, "Listen," and it was because he had high blood pressure, taking the medication, and she said, "Listen." We were selling little blue pills in the barbershop at the time, right? Little blue pills. You know, we call them blues in the barbershop, right? And the doctor wouldn't prescribe Viagra at the time. This is I'm going back when Viagra the first time. It was too strong. He wouldn't prescribe. This is before like all the gas station pills, all this nonsense that's out now. And he said, "Yo, man, listen, like," he said, the blue pills saved his marriage. His wife told him she was going to step out. She didn't want to cheat on him. But she'd rather tell him that she's going to step out because he couldn't perform in the bedroom, man. Yeah, she was straight honest with him.
I can respect that.
I mean, he had children. He had children too. Yeah, he had children. And she told him what it was. I mean, is it that important though?
Is it that important for the? I mean, it depends on the person.
What I'm saying,
I know women who've been in both situations.
Huh?
I know women who've been in both situations. Some
right. And what did they do? I'm curious of what the woman's perspective. What did they do?
Depending on the relationship and the level of input, some women just kind of stayed and they remained faithful. They found, some workarounds to achieve their goals. And some
one of the women leave.
Huh?
Did one of the women cheat or leave because a man had erectile dysfunction? Be honest. Nika has fallen off the planet. Did you trip and fall onto Mars? I'm asking you a question. Did one of the women leave or, cheat? Let's be honest.
Would I leave?
Did one of the women, you said two women in the situation, right? So I'm asking you.
I know a couple of them. One
okay,
did.
So I'm asking you, did any of them
one left. One definitely left. But
one left.
But her husband refused to go to the doctor, refused to get any type of treatment. He just refused everything. So she left because he wasn't willing. I think if he would have done like some follow-up care and
now I have to ask you a couple of questions now. Something doesn't seem right. So let me ask you a question. How long were they married, you think? You remember?
This particular couple over 10 years.
Over 10 years. How old was one of the two? How old were they?
I think they were divorced in their 40s.
So this is in their 30s. They were probably in their 30s when this was going on.
No, it was in the 40s.
Oh, there was okay. All this took place while they were in these fights, right? Was she or him, were either one of them overweight?
You said was she what?
Was either one of them overweight?
Both of them.
They're both overweight.
Yes.
She was overweight. He was overweight.
Yes.
He didn't want to get help.
Correct. I think he was embarrassed.
He was embarrassed because overweight, being overweight can actually play into erectile dysfunction. You know, like you said, testosterone levels do drop when you're overweight. Big stomach. A lot of that stuff plays into what was going on. But I'm trying to they both would suffer with obesity, but she chose the left. Did she cheat on him when she was over?
I think she did. Yeah.
Yes or no? You know she did.
I'm gonna lean towards yes on that answer.
She did. But we're not saying any names. We can't even see you. I'm seeing you beautiful picture. So she did cheat. She went out and cheated. He
did as well.
Huh?
He did as well.
They both cheated.
Yes.
Did you see the person that she was cheating with? You ever see that person?
Yes.
What did they look like?
He was fit.
He was a big dude too.
No, he was fit.
He was also. So how long did that last? Do you know?
Maybe a year.
How old was that guy that was fitting and that was plugging her? How old was he?
Low 50s.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, she cheated. Come on, he was obese. He was fit. She was a fetish. She was temporary, and this is what happened. So, what would you do though? Would you leave? Would you be honest? Would you divorce your husband because the lack of sex though?
It's not the lack of sex. It's how for her, and I think it would probably be similar for me. If I tell you that something is a problem and something is bothering me, my expectation is that you try to fix it. If you don't, I feel like you don't care about how I feel and what I'm telling you that I need.
But if they're both obese, right? Let me ask you a question.
She lost weight.
Oh, so she ended up losing weight.
Oh yeah, she lost weight. And he gained all the weight that she lost.
Well, let me ask you, who was paying the majority of the bills?
At first he was. And then he lost his job.
He lost his job.
Damn it.
See that?
Picked it up.
You think so? He lost his job and she was paying majority of the bills.
Yes.
Right. Do you think that played into him being unattractive? The fact that he no longer became a producer in the house?
Yes.
Right. So it wasn't his obesity or his erectile.
No, it wasn't the obesity. It wasn't
erectile
the lack of sex. It was everything combined. And
the lack of money, his lack of being able to provide, what made him more attractive to her.
Yeah.
So this big man right now, if a guy's big, he got the ability to provide for women. He's gonna have sex with women. Biggie Smalls was big, black, and ugly as ever. However, he still had a bunch of women.
No, however.
That's what he said, right? And how song go? Ugly, however, what I'm saying is the fact that he no longer became a producer in the house is probably what caused a lot of the intimate decline between the two. He was no longer producing in her eyes.
I will say that it probably did play into it, but also he got really depressed, and he kind of withdrew from the relationship, so she felt like she was by herself. Like there was no communication. They weren't talking. They weren't being intimate. He was withdrawn.
Right.
So it wasn't one thing that caused her to step out. It was the combination.
Combination of multiple things. And I really think he became depressed because of the relationship. Do you know why he couldn't find another job?
He did find another job, but the job that he had, he was tenured there. So he had a really good salary, but I think the reason for his termination made it a little difficult for him to get the same type of job.
Do you know what the reason of his termination was?
I don't remember, but it wasn't good. It's one of those things that if you put on your resume, I mean, you fill out an application or they do the background check, they don't want you anymore.
Right. Oh, it's something that caused. Okay, I got to understand what you're saying. And the reason I had to bring up the fact that the income played a part, right? And I understand he no longer became a producer, and this is why I tell men we must continue to be producers, right? The problem I have is this with some things with society. If on the flip side, let me ask you from the flip side of that, if the woman would have became when women gain a lot of weight during a marriage, I'm going to say marriage because I want to do the boyfriend girlfriend nonsense. Is that a reason for the man to step? You said no, but what if he leaves? Is that something that you can understand?
I mean, I understand
Let me
all of
ask you
that
a question.
challenge if you're no longer attracted to that person.
So attraction is very important.
It is. It is. But one reason women tend to gain weight tends to be because of children.
Of course, and I totally understand it. I totally get it. I totally understand that, and that is something that can't be denied. But and it's not going to be the shape. It's not going to be like comparing a 20-year-old to a 40-year-old. It's going to be something different. It depends on. I mean, all 40-year-olds that take care of themselves, but a woman's body just reacts differently to even working out as you get older. And we understand that. And the beauty, honestly, as you get older, any woman relies in the inner beauty that she's created with that man. And he sees past that. So when you see men, older men, when they've been their wives for several years, great relationship, there's an inner beauty because they have relationship history. And that relationship history brings forth a different beauty that only he sees. You understand what I'm saying?
I can agree with that.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, only he sees. I'm all for getting married at a younger age and seeing how it goes. But Swit, let me ask you a question, Swit.
Yes, sir.
When you was having sex only 3 times a month with your wife, who was paying majority of the bills?
That's when we was going through the financial problem. She was.
Oh, she was. She was paying majority of the bills.
Right.
And because she was paying majority of the bills,
Yeah, it was turning. Of course, it was just her resentment. So it was like, nigga, I ain't giving you none. That's what it was, probably.
Shanika,
Yes.
your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on that? His money declined. His money got low, and she didn't want to give him. This is what I said about your friend, and I didn't even know what Swiss situation was. But that's why I asked. Is there a correlation between the man being attractive, no longer attractive as he was when he ain't paying them bills?
I want to say in marriage, no, at least it should be. Because the reality is there's so many different dynamics that can come into play that change situations, whether it's temporary or permanently. So I'm not going to deny my husband because right now I'm paying more bills than but what was the communication like between the two of you?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
Nika, speak up, Nika. She said, what was the
What was the
communication like between the two of you?
It's kind of shaky. It's kind of like I said. It was just at the time it was just rough because we had pretty much had just got a new house and all that shit. And it was during like a recession back in like 2005, 2006. So my business had went down. So she was still working, doing her thing, but it did put a lot of stress on her. So that's when we was going through all that, and like I said, the intimacy was gone pretty much.
How long was you paying majority of the bills?
I would say over a year.
Oh, shit. Now raise this up. What you say? You say something? How long would you put up with that? How long would you put up paying majority of the bills in the marriage?
It all
Women are
depends.
not designed to carry the load financially for long term. I understand we go through things and things happen and XYZ. But long term, women are not going to do that. They're not designed to carry a man's load for a long period of time. Let's be honest. Can we at least agree on that?
I mean, by design, I would agree to some. Yes.
Right. So I'm asking you, how long would you put up with paying the majority of the bill? He said a year, and it was over. And that shit went left quick. How long would you deal with paying the majority of the bill in the house till you say, no, I can't get no more box?
Honestly, the bills wouldn't be the deal breaker for me.
So you think? Wait a minute. Let's wait a minute. So you said you could still lay down and perform all the sexual acts for a man, and you're paying the bills?
Well,
let's be honest.
Let's be clear. So some things don't work the same way. When you're stressed, you might not get the same.
What Chris Rock said? What is this woman who is trying to have to pay the bill?
You may not get the same performance. I mean,
you tell a woman you bring home some gifts, that thing gonna be dripping wet when you hit the door. You know what I'm saying?
You can bring your wet box.
Yeah. Nothing excites women like gifts. You know what I'm saying? Attention and gifts. You gotta pay that bill, man. You might as well forget about it. So let's be honest. When you try to say you would still have the same type of sexual with your husband, even though you've been paying the bills for over 6 months.
That sounds
Talk
so
a little louder. We can't hear you. You're mumbling. Talk a little louder.
It sounds horrible.
Listen, that's horrible. How long would you still have the same sex with your husband if you've been paying the bills over 6 months?
Maybe 6 months.
6
months and 1 day.
I mean, how long would it take you to say, hell, I ain't doing this?
Repeat that?
How long does it take for it to change?
6 months and 1 day.
To the man. How long does that take to change your sexual attraction to the man when you've been paying the bills?
Maybe 6 months and 1 day. It depends on the level of stress that I have to go through to pay those bills.
Your work, what do you mean your level? The percentages just changed. At one point, he was able to pay, 90%, 80% of the bills. Things happen. Maybe he got a little lazy after it happened. Now you're paying that 80-90%. He's getting unemployment. Oh, he got a severance package from work, and he got some money to sit on. I'm asking you, how long would you say? Nah, hell with this. I'm not opening my legs for this. This box is taped shut because you ain't paying no bills here. How long does it take
for me to see that his drive and motivation is gone?
Oh, so long. When his drive motivation is gone, so is the sex, huh?
Yeah, a man that's not driven is not.
He's not
attractive. For me, it's not attractive. Like you working to get there. Like I see you hustling and grinding to get something moving. That's a different level of patience for me. Now, things happen and you just get comfortable and sit around.
Driven and motivation. A man who is driven and motivated is an attractive man. Women see security in it. They see provision in it. They see stability. That man then becomes more attractive. So it isn't the actual fact that he looks a certain way that's attractive or unattractive. The fact that that man can control a room. He's a builder. Is basically what you're saying. He can get things done.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's the attraction of a
That's
man
the
to a
huge
woman.
part of
I
it.
totally get it, understand. But I have another question now,
Uh-oh.
since you said that. And these driven men are more attractive regardless of how they look.
I didn't say regardless of how they look.
Well, okay. So I said that. So the man has to have a look a certain way also, on top of being driven and a motivated dude. I'm gonna talk about motivation in a minute in a marriage, but I'm gonna go there in a second. But he has to look a certain way also, on top of being the driven dude. He got to look a certain way.
You want to be attracted to your husband, just like a man wants to be attracted to his wife.
There's a difference between the two, because we don't look for our women to be the providers of the family in order to be attractive. And going by what you said, the attraction of a man is his ability to provide and provision for his family.
That is a part of it, but at the same time, I need to be able to look at you.
Why?
If we can only have sex in the dark, it's a problem.
I bet if them bills ain't paid, you walk in the house in the dark, that's a problem also.
That is.
If you're eating your food in the dark, cold house, that's a problem also. You would have sex in the dark, you're really walking around the house in the dark.
So do you feel like attraction is not important at all? Like, I'm not saying that I can't determine what else makes that man attractive.
Well, didn't you say he's willing to provide?
That is part of it, but that's not 100%. That's not all of it.
So you want a handsome guy that's not a motive driven dude? Would you prefer that?
I mean, it's a lot of handsome homeless people,
right?
But you can. Attraction is a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like one set concrete destination. You know, it's a lot of things that go into making a person attractive. So I'm not saying he has to be a GQ model and provide. That's not the requirement or the expectation.
Well, what else does a man have to do to be attractive?
Charisma, masculinity. It's a whole lot.
plethora of things. This is why I always say
it's a lot of things.
And this is why I always say men have a range. Women have a type, and your women's type has got to be all this stuff. The list can go wrap around your house a few times, but a man can say, she looks, short hair, long hair, tall, short, dark, everything. You don't really don't care. She don't make no money. I mean, it helps a lot. But it's not a deal breaker.
I'm listing just different things that can add to a man's attraction. I'm not saying that each box has to be checked.
Right.
You know, different people bring different things to the table. Like, I've seen GQ models that don't have a drop of swag, and I can't do anything with that. Like, it's more than just it's more than a pretty face. Actually, I don't want a man that's prettier than me, because we can't fight over the mirror. That doesn't work for me.
No, because a man. Listen, I'm gonna say something, but the reason why men And what you said makes a lot of sense because we do prefer our women to look better than us. I'm not really into the whole, me looking better than my women nonsense. But when you have a provider male and he's walking in, he may be a big dude or he may be a short dude, whatever women deem to be unattractive physically. And most women, going by their dating polls, they find most men on sites unattractive. But the thing that makes them attractive isn't really based on their looks. Their ability to provide, like you said earlier, it makes that woman at least want to stay with the man because it makes her life easier. Who wants to live a hard life? A woman knows they want to live a hard life, especially as they get older. They would like to get easier. Yeah, and the man may not look like much. So when you say he got to look good too, it's like, damn, man, well,
I
what
said
do
he
we
needs
got to
to be
do?
attractive. Like,
You don't think his ability, his provisioning, his security, stability makes him attractive to women?
I
To
do, but I
you, I'm
don't think
sorry,
that's
not
the
to
only
women,
thing.
to his wife.
I do think it does, but I don't think that's the only thing that adds to attraction.
To his wife. Now, I'm not talking to the masses of women. To his wife.
Oh yeah, I mean him handling his business, definitely. Him providing, protecting, communication. That's enough to keep it going.
So, what makes you attracted to a man then? In a marriage, if you was married, what would attract you? What would keep your attention to that man in a marriage? What makes you say, I can't wait to get home? What is it?
I personally am a fan of the alpha male.
Alpha male. Whew.
Yeah,
Why is that?
it's something about the energy. I don't know how to describe it.
A high earning alpha male? Because the earning power of a man doesn't make him alpha. Some men are alpha in business, but a beta in the home. So what I'm asking you is a high earning or just a level, even playing field income, but he's an alpha in the house. My father didn't make much. He worked for sanitation for years. He worked for the post office, but he was an alpha male. When he came in the house, you knew he was home. He just everybody got an order when my pops worked out, but he wasn't no big earner. And he took care of 7 children. He made it work. You know what I mean? But he was alpha all the way. You know what I'm saying? He was known back in the day. He was a man's man. So
I mean, he doesn't
have to be a high earning alpha.
He doesn't have to be a high earning alpha. If he is, that's a plus. But it's the energy. It's the.
So I got in the chat. Cinnamon said, "Good conversation, intelligent, sense of humor, provider, protector."
I agree with all of the above.
Yeah, she said, "Good conversation, intelligent, sense of humor, provider, and protector."
And it's something about an alpha male that just makes you, as a woman, feel safe and protected.
Right. Like I was saying earlier, security and stability. Women want to be protected.
Absolutely.
Right. It's in their nature to want to be protected. That's a natural aspect of a woman. That's just females in general. Even the lioness, as big and strong as a lioness is, when that alpha shows up, she falls back. She feels protected when the alpha shows up. We have be a protector in all aspects is number one for me, and then I can protect him, help. So she would. She's going to exchange protective services and help him. But now I understand what you're saying. Being an asset to the relationship is also a good thing. Now, if you say, so do you think those things make a woman more attractive to a man? Sweet, what makes a woman attractive, bro, when it comes to marriage?
For me, a woman to make it attractive
in a marriage.
Not
on first sight. But let me just explain something real fast. On first sight, ladies who may speak, on first sight, people say, "Oh, beauty is everything." No, beauty isn't everything with a woman. Let me just explain something to you real fast. I'm going to break this down the right way. Beauty gets you in the door. That's what it does. Beauty gets you in the door, right? That's what it does. So the reason why we have such a failed community right now, and we got a lot of people that got in the door with the social media and stuff. They got in the door. The problem is the reason why everything is downhill as far as relationship because they can't stay in the club. Let's do in the club scene. So let's say there was a club named Studio 54, right? And they would go outside. Guy would go. They made a movie about it. Guy would go outside and pick the beautiful women to come in the club, right? Now they got in the club, but that wasn't saying it was going to be free drinks all night or being the VIP section. They got in the club. So the beauty gets you in the club, but can it make you stay in the section? And that takes place when she opens her mouth. And when she starts to talk, they have a conversation. And then at that point, if I don't know, the man is figuring out what he wants to do with that woman once she opens her mouth. Do you understand what I'm saying, Nick?
It makes sense.
Because they say, man, you got to come say, man, that's wife. Dudes say all the time, right? And she wife material. You know what I'm saying? That's wifey material, right? So that's the problem that men say. She's wifey material. Or like, man, this chick is a jump off, bro. Like, she's an airhead or XYZ. And it was just like, oh, man. It is, but she look good, though. She got a nice body. So a lot of the time what you have on social media with the Instagram thoughts and bottles or whatever you want to say, thought pockets, whatever they call them, you got a bunch of people that can get in the club but can't get in the section. And they end up getting passed off from one to the next. You know what I mean? Becoming mentally, socially damaged. But that's what I wanted to touch on that about, because the times we are in where beauty is such a big thing. It's like an $8 billion business, maybe more. I don't know how many billions, but it's up there. And this is what people are focused on. People focus on getting in the club, not staying in the section. Sweat, what you say was attracted to a woman in a marriage?
Those good home qualities, like, just taking care of home, taking care of the kids. That's attractive right there. The house always clean, a nice meal, you always cooking, doing what you're supposed to do. That's attractive to me in the marriage.
So Abiba, Miss Kasim, sound like a Muslim name. I like that name. I protect him. So she said, and I can protect him and help. What about the ability for her to help you do what you got going on?
You said for her to be able to help, is that attractive?
Yeah, that attractive. Or for her to be able, because you name cook, clean, those type of things. You know what I mean? Things that most men say. I didn't hear you say peace though. I thought maybe peace would be attractive.
Oh yeah, peace. Yeah, I can't forget peace.
I mean, the situation you said you were in. I mean, you said you was having sex only 3 times a month. Yeah. That didn't seem too peaceful to me, brother. You don't think peace would
But yeah. Helping, of course, that's attractive. Help someone that's by your side. That's what it's supposed to be about.
No, I'm gonna ask you a question now. Would you take a step down in attractiveness for a step up in those other aspects that you were saying before? So I'm gonna word it this way. So now, if a woman is not as attractive on the 1 to 10 scale and whatever in people's eyes to the masses, but she has those other aspects to make her, I guess, a better woman in a sense. I want to say to you, but she's not as attractive. That's something you could deal with. She's a peaceful woman, not combative.
That's where a lot of times the conversation of that's wifey material opposed to the jump off come in. Like, do to take that over the prettiness. I think.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Nika?
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Where a man is in life. I feel like a lot of times a woman's beauty and body supersede everything until they have a bad experience. The 80-20 rule. A lot of men jump for 20 and don't realize that the other 80% is missing until after they're outside of that honeymoon phase.
You mean like infatuation?
Say it again.
You mean like they're infatuated with the woman? So they put beauty first, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And kind of got blinded?
Right. Won't care anything about the woman not having a drop of substance, any of those wifey qualities. A lot of times I feel like men gravitate to women who, how do I say this? Women who give off the image that they want.
The beauty image.
Everybody wants that woman who everyone is breaking their neck to look at everybody, all the other men are interested in this woman, and they overlook so many red flags and other important qualities. So
because of
I think a man
infatuation.
with experience, I think a man with
Right. Go ahead.
some knowledge
Go ahead.
can
Decipher.
look past and understand that there are more things that go into it than just the face, a body, and sex. Because the reality is, with time, all of that fades.
Now, you're right. Beauty fades, and this is what I was saying about signing on early. And I'm going to explain what I mean by signing on early. What I mean by signing on, when a woman is at her beauty peak, when they say in their mid-20s. I'm going to go for argument's sake. I can't go for all women, but nothing is all. I did a program on that. But for the majority, doing the stats, signing on early means signing on with that man while you're at your beauty peaks. And as you get older together, you develop a inside beauty with that person. So when your looks fade on the outside, your beauty, your core, and what makes you who you are increases as you go on with that man. The problem is now that we have social media, like you were saying, dudes is really jumping out the window for women, and a lot of times those women have a alternative motive because they know this guy is just infatuated with her and she don't have nothing else to offer. She can't even hold a conversation, let alone be a type of woman that a man may want, So I understand what you're saying 100%. It's not many. I mean, I don't think it's many that do that. I think it's kind of that thought process is inflated because women think, in a sense, hoes are winning, in a sense. And I don't agree that they are. I think that time is very limited. We have different posts on social media. There's one like a Brittany Renner who was talking all this, getting with the ball players and having a baby and now no one wants to bother with her. And as she's getting older, she's not much older. She's still a pretty decent female, but no one is messing with her. No one is dealing with her. So how far does her beauty take you? How far does beauty take you?
It depends.
You understand what I'm saying? How far does that beauty take you in a relationship? Because if you have a situation where you're at your top beauty peak and you're giving these couple of years to a person, to a man that worked for you, and now he's like looking at you like, okay, you looking the same, you looking regular, your beauty decline, that is going to go downhill at one point. So how far does that beauty actually take you?
It depends on that man.
Let's just say, I mean, let's be honest. As women get older, I mean, the attractiveness of a woman at 23 and 43 is totally different. Do you agree?
I agree.
Right. So the 23-year-old or even 20s would be more attractive than the woman in her 40s. So if she's giving all her beauty time with nothing else to offer in her 20s to a man, and they fall out, it's very hard for her to get back to being a desirable in society amongst men with her 40s.
So I feel like attractiveness is different at each stage in life. So I don't want to compare 40 to 20. I don't want to compare 20 to 30, 40 to 50, because it's different.
Different how?
It's different.
For men, attractive, being attracted to a... Okay, explain what you mean.
I feel like, for example, Phylicia Rashad, beautiful. I don't even know how old she is, but she's been beautiful at every stage of her life. Now, of course, you can look at pictures or look at pictures of her when she was younger, and she was beautiful then. But I wouldn't look at her and say that, well, Phylicia Rashad lost her value, lost her beauty as she got older. That wouldn't be my comment about her.
Wait a minute. You trying to tell me a 50? How old is she? About 70? How old is she now?
Well, she gotta be in her damn 60s.
At least.
What you're trying to say is Phylicia Rashad is just as attractive as she was?
What I'm saying is that it's different. Everything is not a direct comparison. It's
We're talking about
different.
being
Like,
attractive,
she's still attractive. She's older now. She's an older woman,
right?
but she's still beautiful and she's still attractive. I feel like the way the conversation is going in so many places right now, it's like a woman, it's like if you don't do whatever by this magic age, it's like Cinderella losing her slipper at midnight. Everything just falls apart. And I don't think that's the case for every woman.
Every woman. You can't do these absolutes, man. And you can't do these 100%, these everys and alls.
Well, I don't
Because
think it's the case for most.
Okay, but the okay, let's do it this way. It is a possibility, but the probability is against that woman. Yes or no?
It's a possibility, yes.
It's a. I want to ask you. It's a possibility, but the probability is a lot lower as she gets older. Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yes again. I'm gonna say yes again. But I don't like the language. I don't.
I mean, it's true. You agree? It's truth. I'm just saying, like, I get what you're saying. Alicia Rashad is a nice woman. Nobody's going out. No man is getting dressed up by the new car to shape up to go meet a 70-year-old. I mean, let's be honest.
Men of her age. Men
Men of
who
her
are-
age? Men of her age,
I mean,
probably
nobody is going to be looking for her if they're looking for a 20 or 30-year-old woman. They're not.
Say that again.
But she's still beautiful. She's still attractive.
I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying she's not attractive. That's not what I'm saying. But
Okay.
in men's eyes, trying to find no one's going out looking for a 70-year-old in masses. Will she find a guy that's almost just barely breathing? She might find a guy that's barely breathing. Maybe she can help him with his CPAP machine. I don't know. But no one of a man that you would want that's just not. Come on. So, and what I'm saying is, I'm saying about log on early, get in tune early.
I feel like that's normally the goal, though.
Well, so we all get older. Does that mean we lost our value? Now that goes for men and women. It's totally different. That's the question. I can see the chat. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see the chat? You can see this chat, Nick?
Yes.
Right. So ask the question, how old does that value?
And I'm in.
Go ahead, Nick.
I agree. Men in their 20s, men in their 30s, 40s, like is everybody gets older. Why is it that women only lose their value as they get older? Why don't men also?
No, sexual marker. So we're talking about the looks. No. Okay, this is the thing. I'm going to explain this to you very clearly.
Okay, I'm listening.
We are judged differently in society. Do you agree or disagree?
Yes.
You sound like you don't. You sound, we are judged differently in society, right? You're talking about the beauty of a woman, the way she looks, right? So let me give an example. What if you have a man who is living in a room or living in his parents' basement? He's 46 years old. Has he lost his value? Does he have any value to a woman?
The question is, does he have any value to himself?
He doesn't. To a woman, right? He's deemed right. Why? Well, he's a handsome guy, but he lives in he's 46 years old, living in the basement of his mother's house, or he sleeps out of his car. Is he any value to a woman?
No, but would he be any value to a woman in his 20s, living in his car?
No. I'm saying older because the question she did was about getting older with value. Okay. She correlated getting older.
I'm not signing up, but
right, because you're not. Why? Because he can't do nothing for you, right?
It's unappealing.
But what makes him unappealing? If he's an attractive guy, but he's attractive 46-year-old man living.
Attractive alone doesn't get it for me.
A handsome guy. Listen what I'm trying to say. He's visibly handsome, but he's 46 and he lives in a room somewhere whatever, and wherever. Is she valuable to you? Nika has tripped and fell asleep again. What the hell, man? What, is he being valuable to you? I'm asking you a direct question. No.
For me,
Right?
no. For me,
No.
no.
Why?
For me, no.
Why?
I mean, I'm not sure what happened that led him there.
Because if
I don't know if
the
he's
40
staying in that space.
do you even care? Do you care what happened? Honestly, do you care what happened?
No, I don't. Not, at least not.
All you know is his outcomes of him being the age of 46, 47, 50 years old, living in a room, not driving a car or whatever. He's not valuable to you.
Well, a woman in the same situation.
No,
She valuable?
no. I'm going to go there. I want you take so long to say you take so long to say no to one of the shortest words in the American alphabet book of words. But what I'm trying to say is, if a woman is 46, well, let's not do 46. If she's 46, right, Split?
Yes, sir.
She has a house, car. She has a good amount of money. She's doing pretty well for herself, right? And juxtapose that with let's not go too young. Let's go 28-year-old woman, beautiful woman. But now the 40-year-old woman, she's not as attractive. She can be doing a lot better for herself on the beauty side of things. But now the 28-year-old attractive woman physically, but she lives in a room in her mother's house, lives with her mother. Is that woman is she attractive to you?
She's still attractive.
But why? She lives in her mother's room though.
Hey, the mom's crib ain't got nothing to do with me. I got my own place.
Right. But so Nika,
I'm not moving him in my house.
You're not moving me in the house. Come closer to the mic, Nika. Nika, come closer to the mic.
I am not moving the man into my house.
You're not moving no man in your house?
No.
Sweet, would you move that woman into you if she was what you
Right. She might could become an asset to my home.
You see the difference, Nika? But do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? We're judged differently in society. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think the expectation. All right, I'll give that to you.
I think she gets it.
Oh, you get it now.
I will give that to you because there's no scenario where I'm looking to move a man into my house.
Right.
But on the flip side, a woman moving into a man's house is so we're judged differently. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. So getting back to the original, what Cinnamon said, and Cinnamon made another comment. Most men in their 20s aren't worth their weight in salt. True indeed, because you know why Cinnamon isn't worth their weight in salt? Because men have to. We are born with literally no value. We're born with no value. So the things I find, and this is why I had the talking scenario with just now, because we have to earn our value. Women are born with their value. What you guys what men want from you guys is to have to be upkept while you're at your peak. So let's go a legal age between 18 to 25, the most attractive years of a woman's life. You're born with those people. We as men in our 20s to 30s, with our peak earning potentials in between 45 and 55, we got to get there, man. We may be a cute guys and messing with cute girls and all that other stuff, and a lot of times, dudes are just chasing bodies. They don't amount to nothing. We got to earn that value. So while we start off with zero value and got to gain it as we are producers, it's in reverse with women and men. That's why I say for women to count on early and be an asset to that man, like Habia said, protecting and I can protect and help him. When you help that man build what he got going on, then you become more valuable to that situation. And that's how you maintain your value. Maintain your value with that man, Cinnamon, by being the inside beauty is there. And that beauty is within that man, and he values you more than anything. There's some dudes, man. You hear about old couples, man. Once one died, the other one checks out a month later or a week later because they just listen, whether the man or the woman, because they see so much value in each other, they can't live without each other. And that's how deep. That's on the deep end of it. But these are the things that happen. So, Senator, you maintain your value by being with that man, that one man, not to society. So, to the society, the sexual market value society, all the other men, the value isn't as higher in that aspect. The value is honestly with that man. Because we looked at each other differently. Do you understand what I'm saying, Nika?
I understand. I don't like it, but I understand.
I know. Well, I'm just listen. I don't say things in a certain manner. I just want to say it in a way that can be comprehended, so we understand. You know what I mean? But now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, though, Nika. And this is the main problem, right? There's a problem. Definitely the possibilities are still there. The probabilities are a lot less, but then the problem is a lot of women, they don't want that type of man that may want them at that point. You said, by your own words, this guy had to be attractive. He had to do all these things, right? And you may see a guy 55 next to 60, he may be a little overweight. He may not be the most handsome guy. Maybe life beat him up a little bit, but he's paying his bills. He's keeping his head above water. But you said, that's not a man you want, though. You still want a provider, right? Or you want to go 50-50?
I feel like we're about to segue
into another question. You know what? We're going to do this has already been an hour. I don't want to, what time is it now? Do you want to have a 50-50 conversation or you want to save that for another time? What do you want to do? Y'all want to hear it? I mean, we ain't got too many people in the chat right now. If you want to have it, you can have a 50-50 conversation. We can go. We didn't even go with the if I want to do some more time, I got time, I can go.
It's your world. What would you like to do?
We didn't even do the YouTube with the comment the women made about marriage between black men and black women, and why is it that more black men are married than black women? We didn't even go there. That's a whole. Well, we got one person.
Did you see Jennifer's comment?
That's no better. That's for a couple of reasons. So we're gonna save that. But this was a jump in the mix live. We did it just off of GP. So we are going to. This has been a good conversation, man. It's been a great conversation. So the attractiveness thing between men and women is different. And you kind of basically expose that, Nika. You ain't moving no man in your house that you don't work for. But Switch said, hey, I'll move right on this. You asked that. Come on in. Come on in. That's like the Jay-Z joint. Just shut it door. Come on in. You know what I'm saying? Now, that was a good one, y'all. Switch, Nika, Brains Over Beauty. Swit D, this is AT from Adult Talks, man. We're gonna try to make this a steady. This might be a Sunday night thing, man. I actually like Sunday night. How's your time on Sunday nights, Nika?
I could make it work.
You can make it work? Swit D, you ain't got it.
I'm always around, you know me.
Yeah, we're gonna get some deep ones, and I got some good ones coming up too, man. Well, we definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in. I am going to bid you guys a good night, peace out, and thank you for the support. Signing out.